Again, a lot of destruction here, but crews are on the way. Non-profit organizations are on the way to help folks out. This is a lot of what we're seeing right now. We're going to pan over to North Ridge Street. People are trying to get out. They're clearing their roads and trying to get out. You can see this guy is having a little bit of trouble. Hope he doesn't slide off too much. And while the snow, is still very light and fluffy, it did leave a lot of work for crews clearing the road. The Tanners and Stones say they were the lucky ones. In another part of the town, mobile homes were submerged in water, people's belongings turning into piles of trash on the side of the road. This explosion had a huge impact, blowing out windows even as far as 150 feet. And if a student is afraid to tell a teacher, all they have to do is send a quick text to a hotline, which is monitored by the local sheriff's office. And this is the room where Telvista's 300 new hires will be using the company's brand new chat program. And so now the hard work begins, planting the controlled and the inoculated plants side by side. Huge animals have made their way to Danville. Want a chance to ride one of these? I'll tell you how, and I'm Tola, Adamson, and that's coming up. Believe it or not, just 1 tablespoon of ketchup has 4 grams of sugar. That's 1 teaspoonful. And that can of soda we get out of the vending machine at work, 40 grams of sugar or 10 teaspoons of sugar. A new project in Halifax is making a big splash at the Bannister River. I'm Tola Adamson, and I'll have more next.
If I would have known this was going to happen, I would have hugged my granny and told her how much I love her.
A family all in tears after learning their mother was brutally murdered.
He killed my mom like she was an animal.
They're talking about 65-year-old Robert Gilbert. He's facing a second-degree murder charge after investigators say he drove into Daisy Bennett Witcher's home, killing her.
It sounded like he was running 100 miles an hour through here.
The family says what hurts the most is that there were warning signs. A week prior, Witcher said she couldn't babysit her great-granddaughter anymore.
She said she couldn't do it because she was scared that Robert was going to do something to her while the baby was there.
Witcher's family says the two dated for a few months, but Witcher ended the relationship a few weeks ago after feeling unsafe around him.
He said he was going to do something to her. And my sister said she laughed it off. Because he always would say stuff to make you laugh, but never known that he was going to actually take a car and pin my mama in her apartment and kill her.
Now the family is trying to focus on the memories.
We just always had fun. We would sit there and watch TV and talk.
But they say they won't rest until justice is served.
I can't even look at my phone and look for a text.
I gotta have justice. I gotta have justice.
I spewed chaos and destroyed my house I shared with my significant other.
It's a day in the life, sharing intimate details about emotional pain, struggles, and regrets. Each inmate at Western Virginia Regional Jail comes in with his or her own story.
I'd gotten out of jail back in September. Then I had an injury that required opiate pain meds. I was doing good for a while, and I probably should have told the doctor I shouldn't use those meds, but they kind of got me started back in the path to addiction. One thing led to another, and I started using heroin again.
But for a select group of inmates, each unique story intersects right here at the Alpha program. It's 120 days of in-jail drug and alcohol treatment.
The program is clearly a behavior modification program. It's not just about their substance use. It's about their criminal behavior. It's about their usage, as well as being able to make changes so that when they come back into society, they can function at a different level than they did when they came in.
When we were there, Stephen Oliver was 60 days in.
I've never been to boot camp, but I could see some similarities. You have to get up first thing in the morning, make your bed, go to rec. We're pretty much nonstop 12-hour days. We're either doing contract work or study hall or meetings, groups. It's all about recovery all day.
On top of Narcotic Anonymous and Alcoholic Anonymous meetings, the group works on writing assignments they present to the class.
People I want to need to make amends with. My father, for lying, stealing, and pushing him out of my life.
Jason Kate says they're eye-opening.
When you're using, you tend to use drugs to escape, but when you get into this setting, it's no longer an option.
But what comes after the 120 days? Depending on the court order, the inmate can have an early release from jail if they complete the program. Then there's another 36-week aftercare program waiting for them on the other side, a sort of continuation of the in-jail treatment, plus weekly drug testing and a 12-week anger management course. 25-year-old Laura Pierce graduated last August.
I came from a family that struggled with substance abuse, and I completely thought that I would never become like them.
Just like Jason, her opiate pill addiction quickly spiraled into heroin. The only difference, Laura gave birth just 1 month before her release.
That was the hard part, was to, go back into society and learn how to, because in jail it's typically pretty easy. You don't have responsibilities. I was coming out with a new baby, and so it was a lot of responsibility that I wasn't used to. I was very overwhelmed, but it was the only thing I had left to save my life. So I really embraced it. I went in full force.
Laura and her counselor consider her a success.
We have a very good completion rate in the jail. I would say overall people who complete the full 36 weeks do well, but I think we're probably at national standards of 12 to 25%.
And that percentile is where these inmates are striving to be.
I was really just like slowly killing myself, so it's given me a new way to live.
I'm here in the small town of Johnsonville, South Carolina, and as you can tell right behind me, water from the storm is still standing. I spoke with the victims and just learned how much of a ray of sunshine God's Pick-Through is after this terrible storm. The headlines have faded.
The sun is out, but the water is coming, and we need you to get out.
And the water receded, leaving those in South Carolina picking up the few pieces that are left.
We just couldn't salvage everything. We lost an entertainment center, a sofa.
For David Stone, he lost all that, plus his wife's family heirloom, more than a century old.
It was in the lower part of the house where we had at least 36 to 38 inches of water that just destroyed it.
Water, Diane and Furman Tanner say came up unbelievably fast.
This is where we're standing now, and I slept for 3 hours. When I woke up at 3:30, it was about 4 inches deep in the bedroom.
The carpet was it was floating. Walk in and just look and say, where do we start? What do we do?
The Tanners and Stones say they were the lucky ones. In another part of the town, mobile homes were submerged in water, people's belongings turning into piles of trash on the side of the road. Water may have washed away most of their belongings, but for many, the love for their homes is standing strong.
Some of them said, Daddy, why don't you tear it down? I said, no. I said, I built this home myself back in 1967. It took me about a year to build it myself. And it's just something that you just don't give up.
Now, a few weeks later, God's Pick-Through has come to the rescue.
That I just thank God for these people. I really, really do. And I feel like that God really sent them my way.